All right, let's now turn to the Olympics and discuss the sport of judo, where there's some controversy surrounding the qualification of Commonwealth Games silver medalist Ebony Drysdale-Daley. The British Jamaican athlete took to social media, accusing the Jamaica Judo Association of hampering her chances of qualification to Paris and questioning the integrity of the governing body.
There is now 2 of us currently trying to qualify for this Olympics. I feel the Federation has shown no impartiality. I feel there is a real question of ethics. I feel there is a real question of integrity. The Jamaican Judo Association are blocking me from attending and competing in my last qualifying event. An event that I have self-funded and paid for flights. An event that they told me that they weren't going to help finance, even though I have the evidence to say otherwise, that when I was in qualifying position, a fund was in reserve to help said quote-unquote athletes in that position, but I never questioned that. I did my best to crowdfund and work for it. They have removed me from competition registry. The Jamaican Judo Association had initially registered me for this event. Now they have removed me. I feel there are clear and present inconsistencies, and I have evidence and emails to support this. I feel the Jamaican Judo Association have favoured another athlete over me. I feel like they have favoured the other athlete in contention over me. They have effectively secured and ensured the other athlete's qualification ahead of mine by blocking me from this final tournament, of which I have paid flights for. I feel there are clear and present inconsistencies with their handling of me, and I have evidence and emails to support this. The Jamaican Olympic Association, the Jamaican Judo Association have not responded to my emails, and the Jamaican Olympic Association and the Jamaican Judo Association have cruelly ignored me. The deadline for me to be re-entered is in 2 days' time. This is very time sensitive. I feel let down by my peers. I feel let down by the Jamaican Judo Association. I feel let down by the Judo Olympic Association. I feel so alone.
Well, our team reached out to Judo President Dwayne Barnett, who advised he was unavailable for an interview due to other commitments, and efforts to reach the General Secretary, Zandra Zogidi, were unanswered. So, Lance, you know, every time I listen to an athlete, and of course their appeals, their cries, it always strikes a different chord in me. I don't know how to really explain it, and I'm somebody that, of course, my job is to talk, right? I listened to her just now, and of course I would have listened to it a couple times before I came on set. And, you know, my heart really goes out to her. However, one of the first questions I had asked is, did we speak to anybody from the Judo Association? She called out the Jamaica Olympic Association. I asked also if we were able to get anybody, because I also believe that there are many different sides to every situation. There's her side, of course, what the Olympic Association will say, what the judo president will say, and then that truth. So where this sits right now, it's very unfortunate, because she has repeated numerous times that she feels as if she hasn't been dealt with in the best way possible. She went on to also say that she has emails and, a lot of proof that she can bring to the table. What I am thinking, though, is there's a deadline. She also outlined that. And that deadline is very serious because you know how these competitions go. You miss the deadline and you're done for, basically. I think it's an unfortunate situation, but after listening to that lengthy video from Ebony, I'd love to hear from the GOA Lance. I want to hear why is it that there seems to be this impartiality meted out to Ebony and why she feels like this, because what I get is there's another athlete that she feels is being put in front of her. And if so, why? Just come here and tell me that the other athlete meets these criteria and all these different things, and that's why we're going ahead with that. But I just feel like it's right now, we heard her side. I want to hear the other side.
Yeah, which is a fair position to take, Mariah, because usually in situations like this, there is an other side or some kind of explanation to the issue. And it's very disappointing for us here on the SportsMax Zone that the judo administrators have put themselves unavailable to discuss this issue on the show. And we're talking about an athlete who created history for Jamaica at the Tokyo Olympics back in 2021 when she became the first judo competitor for Jamaica on the women's side. And then at the Commonwealth Games, she won a silver medal as well. So she has already placed her name indelibly in Jamaica's history as a judo competitor in international competition, the Commonwealth Games and the Olympic Games. And she is obviously emotional and devastated by what she has described as unfair treatment meted out to her. It reminds me a little bit of the gymnastics story we had at the Rio Olympics from Trinidad and Tobago when Marissa Dick was used as the gymnastic representative for Trinidad and Tobago in place of Tima Williams, who felt as if she was unfair, and she actually went to court over it and actually won some damages after that. And this story just smacks of a similar situation for me. Having said that, I don't want to say too much more about this until we hear the position of the Jamaica Judo Association.
Yes.
and what their position is, because we are listening to Ebony and we feel attached to what she has said.
Because we've heard from her.
We've heard from her, and what she says sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Jamaica Olympic Association and the Judo Association will have some kind of an explanation as to why the other athlete has been placed ahead of her. But this is a very difficult story for her to deal with, especially given the euphoria of what she had been through as a Jamaican representative in the past, creating history. So she feels as if 1 minute she's being glorified by, the Jamaican Judo Association, and then years after that, the rug has been pulled from under her feet. Yeah. So we hope that before the week is out, we can hear from the Jamaica Olympic Association, Mariah, or the Jamaica Judo Association to put some kind of an explanation as to what has happened here, because Ebony feels as if she has been denied the opportunity of doing a last qualifier to place herself in a position to qualify.
Yeah, and another thing, whenever it's a minor sport, Lance, we always think that it's a financial issue. What also stood out for me from that interview was the fact that she said, she's been funding it herself. So what I get is, the money aspect of it seems to be covered from what she just said, but, just a lot of questions versus answers. So we'll continue to follow this story very, very closely. We're not dropping it here, and we will continue to be reaching out to the Judo Association so that we can get some answers. We're going to be on this one.
Yes, we certainly are. As we continue to count down the days until the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, the SportsMax Zone will have special features surrounding this summer's highly anticipated games. Now, today's feature serves to keep you, our viewers, up to speed with all the news and updates for the games. Here is Gerard Morris-Seeley with Eyes on Paris.
Keeping you up to date on all things Olympics, this is Eyes on Paris. We begin with news from the International Olympic Committee, as the governing body for the Games has encouraged the media not to use the terms biologically male or biologically female when describing trans athletes in its latest portrayal guidelines, calling it, quote, problematic language. This was reflected in their third edition of the IOC's Portrayal Guidelines subtitled Gender Equal, Fair and Inclusive Representation in Sport. As France's political leaders scramble to prepare for snap elections after President Emmanuel Macron dissolved parliament in response to a stinging European vote defeat by the far-right National Rally, head of the International Olympic Committee Thomas Bach, along with Director of Paris 2024 Tony Estanguet, maintained that political unrest will not derail the best show on earth. Estanguet maintains that his team is more determined than ever to make the Games a success, and also added that plenty of elections have taken place since the successful bid for the Games. Bach added that he has no indication that this unity will break now, just weeks before the opening of the Games. The land of wood and water has suffered a major blow in their women's sprint department ahead of the Paris Olympic Games. Brianna Liston, the fastest Jamaican over 100 meters this season with 10.91 seconds, will not compete at the national championships, having called time on her 2024 campaign following the NCAA Division I Outdoor Championships, which ended in Eugene, Oregon on Saturday. Liston, who clocked a win-assisted 10.89 seconds for silver at Hayward Field, was expected to push for a place in Jamaica's team to Paris. In a social media post, she said, "Thank you 2024, Breezy signing out." However, she gave no reason for her decision. This has been Eyes on Paris. Until next time, au revoir.